Good morning. This is Geeta from CSE Department, Bharat Institute of Higher Education Research. Here I'm going to give the lecture in this topic, object-oriented software engineering. This is the subject actually. Under this, we are going to see object-oriented methodologies. This subject has the combined concepts of subject software engineering and the object oriented. So the first concept is introduction to system concepts. First, we will see what is the system. That is, why system is used here. So here, the system means we know that the system, it has the input, it has to be processed, it has to be controlled, it has to be delivered as output. That is okay. But here in object-oriented software engineering, it combines the concept object-oriented concepts and the software engineering concepts. So we know the object-oriented concepts, objects, classes, polymorphism, inheritance, and all, as well as object engineering concepts. So how these object-oriented concepts will be implemented in the software engineering. That's what we are going to see in this subject. First, we will see the system. What is system? System is an interrelated set of business procedures used within one business unit that is working together for some purpose. That is not only in the business unit, in the education level, institution level, everywhere it is used. So the detailed explanation of each characteristic follows. System exists within a larger world and environment. A boundary separates the system from its environment. The system takes input from outside, processes it, and sends the resulting out back to the environment. This is the normal system. So we will see how it will be implemented in our area. So these are the components of the system. So the elements of the system, first we have the input, the processor, output. So the input will be retrieved. Input will be retrieved from the client side and processing it. During processing, the control will be given to the processor from the separate unit, and that will be given to the output. So at the end of the output, it has the boundaries and interfaces. So what is boundaries and interfaces? You are doing some project. There must be a certain boundaries. Only this much can be done from our side. If anything is updated or needed or required by the user side or the client side, it has to be updated. So for that, proper interaction has to be done between the client side and to the company side. So that comes under here. And if there is any requirement asked or requested from the client side, that has been given as a feedback, and that has been given as the input, and this input will be processed again, that is given as the output. So this is the basic system. So these are the components. It is what are the components of a system? First component, then interrelated components, boundary, then purpose, then environment, interfaces, constraints, input and output. So first four already we have seen, and the remaining things we will see. What is the environment external? What we need to interact with the system? What are the interfaces has to be done? Constraints, what are the limitations given from the company side? What are the inputs and what are the outputs has to be retrieved. Next, characteristics and the types of the system. So what are the characteristics? Organization, interaction, interdependence, and the integration and the central objective. So first we will see the organization. So organization means you're going to define a system. For example, you're going to design a product, or you're going to implement a project. First, organization is very important. That means you're going to develop a project for some MNC. First, you have to get the hierarchy. for company details, even for company employee details, you need a hierarchical order. Simply, you can't list out the employees. Hierarchy is very important. First, higher officials from first management, then the higher official, then CEO level, then the manager level, then the employees. Likewise, you have to put a proper structure. That is called a hierarchical organization in a company. Then you have to define a computer system. That is the organization of various components like input devices, output devices, CPU, and the storage devices. These are all the things we need to develop a project. Without proper devices, you cannot implement anything from the software level. And then the interaction has to be done. So you are going to develop a project. First, a proper interaction has to be done. For example, you are going to do a banking project means, all the details has to be collected both, that is from the bank side as well as from the customer side. What are the things are requested or the requirements needed by the clients or users? That is one part. And another one, what the bank can offer, what are the offers they can give, what are the limitations they have, what are the conditions they have, that also should be considered. So both the things has to be considered. Then interdependence, how they can link. They got details from both the sides, how they will be linked, how they can make it depend on each other, that thing. Then the integration, how it will be integrated. They will get the details from different data, different resources, okay, different field, different persons, how they will integrate all the things. That is the next one. Then what is the objective? So what is the objective of developing a particular product? It should be known in early phases of analysis. So these are the important characteristics of a system: organization, interaction, interdependence, integration, and the central objective. This is the proper order we should maintain: organization, interaction, interdependence, integration, and central objective. The next one is the types of system. So what are the types of system? Formal information system, informal information system, and computer-based information system. So we know the information systems, but what are the different system has to be maintained? What are the different systems has to be maintained? Formal information system, informal information system, and the computer-based information system. So the first one, formal information system. It is the responsible for flow of information from top management to lower management, but feedback can be given from the lower authorities to the top management. Yes, obviously, even though the lower level authorities are collecting the information or data from the client side or the user side, it has to be reported to the higher official. If there is any updation has to be done, if there is any flaws or if there is any feedback, then definitely that has to be given to the knowledge of the top management. There is a formal system. Informal information system means informal systems are employee based. Okay, so from the lower level, these are made to solve the day-to-day work-related problems. What they are working in a particular field or project. What are the facilities they are need, and what are the amenities they need, what are system, both the hardware and software side requirements. Everything has to be sorted out. Everything has to be considered. Then only they can give their better output. Then computer-based information system. Computer-based information systems, this class of systems depends on the use of computer for managing business applications. Not only business applications, to develop their business, okay, to develop their business, to go to the next level, to update it, to go to the next version, or to promote their marketing. For all these kind of things, the computer-based information system is used. So these all are the types of system. Previous we have seen the characteristics, right? Here this is the types of systems. Again, I'm telling the formal information system, informal information system, and the computer-based information system. And next very important diagram we have under this topic is the components of a computer-based information system application. So what are the things needed to develop a certain application from the system side? So what are the things needed? Even though we are having the data, we are having the knowledge, everything is okay, but still we need our devices. We must provide and we must maintain a proper devices. Either it may be hardware, it may be software. So hardware means it comes our systems, network devices, or any other devices which without which the system can't work with. Everything comes under this hardware. System software means like both application software, like operating systems, then compilers, everything, like Windows, what kind of OS can be updated, what kind of compilers can be used, uh, different types of software, everything will be comes under this system software. Then what are the job roles has to be done? Then controls. Controls means why they are giving the lock symbol. So authentication, like security. There should not be any third party access. It should be confidential. It should provide a proper security, proper control. That comes under this control. And then users. Who all are the users of the system? That should be defined first, because they should maintain a proper idea of maintaining their users. They should have a proper gateway. That is, who all are, can access this. Everything must be maintained. Third party should not access it. Third party access should not happen. They should maintain a proper users list. Then documentation. See, even though we are doing the best project, we are delivering a best one, we must maintain a proper documentation and training manuals. So always we should maintain it, because to explain the project, or to deliver the project to the client or to the user, the training manual is important. Whenever we are buying some product, while delivering the product, they will give the manual also. Even though we are educated, we can handle it, but still we will get small doubts. We can refer it, right? So the documentation must be maintained. The training manuals must be given with the product. The engineers, software engineers who are implement this, or system who is handling this, they are responsible to maintain this documentation. So this is very important. These are the very important things which need to apply a better application from the computer-based information system level. These are all the components which is very important and mandatory. Next one is the information system. This information system is very important. What are the things needed? So what are the different systems? What are the different systems needed to develop a better product? So this comes under this information system. We know the system, that's it. But what are the different levels are there? What are the different jobs are there? What are the different responsibilities are there? That comes under this information system. So organizations capture and manage data to produce useful information that supports an organization and its employees, customers, suppliers, and partners. Many organizations consider information system to be essential to their ability to complete or gain competitive advantage. So most organizations have to come to realize that all workers need to participate in the development of the information system. So the transaction processing systems, management information system, decision support system, executive information system, expert system, communications and collaboration systems, automation system. Transaction processing system means, so what are the transaction has to be made? For example, you're doing some project for credit card or some banking project. Definitely the transaction is mandatory. Transaction is important. Um, uh, like payroll, bill payment, refunds, transactions, failed transactions. All these comes under this. So this is very confidential and very sensitive part of the systems. So this has to be maintained, that every details has to be obtained either from the user side, that is client side, and the proper response has to be given from the company side, either from it is bank or office or whatever. So the management information system, how it is to be managed, means how the work has to be splitted and given to the different employees, and how to collect the data. For example, as I told, a banking project, how the data should be collected, how it has to be distributed. For example, they have to collect the data from the clients. For that, job will be allocated to some person, and then they have to avail some offers or loans. So that job will be allocated to different persons. Then executives, like how to sell the product, so that will be separate. So this management information system, from the manager level, they should allocate the job to the employees. They should maintain a proper system. That is the management information system. And the decision support systems. And decision support systems means it's a system which holds the decision makers. Decision makers for what? like you can say like a business intelligence. So each and every company there will be a separate team called business intelligence. Those people, this business intelligence experts will take care of their company improvement. They will look at the other companies, those who are competitor to those company, those who are doing those, what's their mistake, in what they are struggling. They will find it out. They will overcome it, and they will try to improve their business. So each and every MNC there will be a separate department called BIs, that is business intelligence. This BI team will be having the decision makers, which forms the decision support systems. So decision makers, what they will do. So what kind of decision they will take to improve the product, whether they can improve the their what to say service level or product level, they can improve the quality, and they can improve the employee standard. Everything comes under this. Then the executive information system. So this executive information system, even though CEO is there for each and every company, executives are very important. For example, marketing executives, even though they are giving a good product, they are not having good relationship with the customers. They are not having the executives, those have patience, those not having good relationship with the customers. Definitely, there will not be any use of developing a good product. So this executive information system is very important. They should maintain the proper communication with their employees. They will be good in marketing their products, and this is very important to deliver their product or to sell their product. Then expert systems. So this expert system will be having different experts in a particular field. They are developing a product. They should maintain different kind of experts. For example, coding, one person will be best software engineer, like best expert, as well as testing, as designing, as well as selling the product, like best executives, like different experts teams will be there in X system. So they are responsible to develop their project. They're responsible to develop their project, as well as to sell it, and they will make it to reach the customer set. They will make this to reach their customer set. That is the expert system. And then the communication and the collaboration system. Communication and collaboration system, they have the better outsourcing. Outsourcing means we know that each and every company is having business processing outsourcing. So BPOs, right? So business processing outsourcing. So they will maintain a good relationship with the customers, whether they are having any queries, they're having any doubts, whether they're having any request, any issues, means they will communicate with this persons in BPO. Even though they are delivering a good product, they are maintaining, they are giving good service. If the BPO is not running well, they cannot maintain a good relationship. They will not get good positive feedback. If there is no positive reviews, means definitely it will affect their business level. So definitely they should maintain good communication and collaboration systems. Next one is automation system. Automation system means what are the updates can be done, that is what are the queries can be made through the website from the customer level. You're opening one web page, you are searching something about the product or some company, so there must be an option to give a feedback, or there must be an option to search your queries, or you can say FAQs, frequently asked questions. Customers are keep on asking questions. Per day they are getting 100 questions. In 500 questions are repeatedly asking, means these 500 questions will be given as a FAQs. It is frequently asked questions. These are one of the opportunity can be given to the user side or client side from the companies, or the sources, to communicate with the persons properly. So these are very important. So once these all the systems have been satisfied properly, then only they can say that they are maintaining a good systems, a good information system. These are very important for each and everything. These systems are used for transaction, the first one, for managing information, then for decision makers, the decision support systems, and for the executives, executive information systems, to handle and maintain the experts. We have expert systems to maintain, to deal with the customers directly. There is a communications and collaboration systems, and to get the information or the request from the customer side at any cost, even during online or offline, maintain a automation system. So these 7 systems are very important under information systems. That is mandatory for in each and every office or company. The next one is object-oriented software engineering. So children, we have seen about the systems. So now how it will be applicable, how we can use it. So what are the methods of object-oriented development? What are the processes? What are the development process? What that we have seen already. What are the ways to develop it? That are the experts has to decide what are the ways to develop it. How they will develop it? They will compare with another. They will compare with another company, and they will overcome their flaws, and they will try to pull the customers. They will try to improve their positive feedback or reviews level, and they will develop it. And they will first of all they have to deliver a good product with good quality. That is the first thing. Next, we will go with all these customer related queries. So by the way, they can develop it. Then use case driven development. Use case driven developments, once they complete a project, it must be definitely user friendly for the customers or users. Otherwise, it will not be much popular among the users, right? So they must maintain a proper drive. That is use case driven development. So they must be properly delivered to the users. It must be user friendly. For that, they have to work it. Okay, that is also very important under the software engineering field. Next, stresses that use cases are involved in several phases of development. So analysis phase, design phase, and the validation and the testing phase. Analysis phase, design phase, validation, testing phase. That we will see in the next slide that comes under system development life cycle. We will see one by one. So analysis, once we receive a project, once we receive some query, okay, the request, first we have to analyze whether we can do it or not, whether we can do it or not, whether we have all the facilities, whether we can satisfy the customer requirement. That all the analysis has to be done at the beginning level. Once the analysis phase got success, then only we can move to the next level. So it defines the system to be built in terms of problem-driven object model, requirements model, and the analysis model. It should not take into the account an actual implementation. Environment. So first it has to be planned, first it to be analyzed, and only we can move to the next level. This is the design and implementation phase. Analysis over, okay. And next implementation has to be done. Before implementation, design. So designing, either it may be they can make a diagrams or they can make a blueprint based on their complexity of the project, based on the need, based on the convenience. It has to be done. The complexity has to be reduced. It should promotes maintainability over the life of the system. Based on the design has to be done. They can't simply write it and throw it. They should maintain it until they successfully implement and complete the product and deliver to the customer. So analysis model, this is the base of understanding the requirements model, because the analysis model has to be done and then the requirements model has to be done. Analysis process is iterative, obviously. They are designing something and they are getting the information or requirement for the customer. Say, no, we want to change this, we want to update this, we want to modify this. Means it has to be done. It has to be done so that we can say that analysis process is iterative. We can't stop it. Once analysis is over, we can't stop it abruptly. It has to be modified. It has to be modified. So we should have that loophole. We should have that flexibility. We need to update it based on the customer requirement. That is very important. Analysis model, requirement model is stable. Model is stable, obviously. Template is stable. We can change the content based on the customer requirement. Next, testing. So testing level. So different testing levels are the like black box testing, white box testing. Okay. So these are the basic testing. What has to be done? So unit testing, integration testing, and the system testing. Unit testing means the projects will be having different units, right? We can say different models in our term. We will say different models. Each models has to be tested separately. Unit-wise testing has to be done to avoid the simple, small, unwanted, unnecessary errors. We can do this. And then integration testing. Integration means one this that is model-wise testing is over, then it will be integrated. Then the testing has to be done again. Then the system testing. Whether it will be applicable in all the systems platform, whether it is applicable in all the platforms, or whether it can be done in all the OS compilers, all the system side testing will be done in this testing. The the software development, system development life cycle, the same as the software development life cycle. So this is the very important diagram. Actually, this is very important slide, a very important point or topic in this lecture. Why it is called a cycle? Because every steps has to be repeated. And it has to be done again and again. As I told you already, we start to do the analysis, we start to do the design. Before going to design analysis parts itself, which has to be based on the customer requirement. So first, these 5 points are very important: planning, analysis, design, implementation, and maintenance.